I've said this before, and I'll certainly say it again. The version of Jason Voorhees on display in Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, is absolutely terrifying, undeniably horrifying, and certainly the only incarnation of Jason Voorhees within the entire franchise that I actually find to be genuinely frightening. Today, I would like to discuss this version of Jason Voorhees specifically and see if we can start to pull apart the many layers of what made this incarnation of Jason truly bone-chilling, besides the absolutely flawless presentation from Kane Hodder, which is obviously and inarguably a huge factor in what made this Jason so damn spooky. A vital element that distinguishes this version of Jason is the environment in which he operates. Previous installments confined Jason to the desolate and secluded Camp Crystal Lake, but in Jason Takes Manhattan, the film transposes Jason onto a doomed cruise ship, as well as an urban landscape, two entirely new settings that force us to reimagine the character and the danger he represents. The cruise ship, filled with thrill-seeking teenagers in an array of contrastingly spooky nooks, crannies, corridors, and crevices, is a remarkably creepy location that makes the already spooky Jason Voorhees even spookier as we see him stalking his victims, observing his potential victims, and generally lingering about the ship. The approaching storm and rough seas only add to the very atmospheric location and showcase Mr. Voorhees in ways we've never seen before. New York City, as we all know, is a place of life and chaos, teeming with people, sights, and sounds. The sheer notion of Jason Voorhees, an unstoppable force of nature, hunting his victims through the crowded streets of New York City, aboard subways, or within its labyrinth of alleyways, adds a whole new dimension of terror to the character. It's not about the isolation anymore. It's about the omnipresent dread that Jason could be lurking anywhere, even in a bustling city that never sleeps. Now, let's dive into Jason's appearance. A crucial aspect of what makes a horror character frightening is their visual representation. And in Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason's look is arguably at its most gruesome up to this point. His face, revealed near the end of the movie, is an utterly nightmarish spectacle, deformed beyond any recognizable humanity, looking more akin to a melted and nightmarish rendition of the Toxic Avenger than his very skull-headed appearance in The New Blood just one film prior. And although his spine and ribcage were very much visible in the previous film, Jason Voorhees in Jason Takes Manhattan just feels nastier somehow. He's covered in perpetual slime, his skin looks more like that of a rotting fish than the brown zombified decay as seen in The New Blood, and while we can't see the aforementioned spine or ribcage on display in JTM, this version of Jason still somehow manages to be more visually striking, compelling, and downright scary. And this grotesque visage is a stark reminder of the abomination that Jason Voorhees has become, imbuing him with an element of body horror that is considerably more pronounced than in other films, again, at least up to this point. In addition to his appearance, the way Jason operates in this film is also a source of enhanced horror. Jason is more direct in his approach in Jason Takes Manhattan, much like he was in The New Blood, but in this film, he's no longer just lurking in the shadows of the woods and killing birthday partygoers when he's given the chance, but instead he's doing it from the shadows and hideaways within the confines of the aforementioned and very much doomed cruise ship, which adds an incredibly creepy layer of menace to his already dangerous mode of operation. Also, Jason is actively hunting his prey in plain sight in this film, at least once they finally make it to NYC. I mean, he's being seen by a ton of people in Times Square, in the subway, in the diner, plus a slew of other locations. While seeing a psychotic zombie stomping down Fifth Avenue was surely nothing new for the residents of NYC at the time, for us, the viewers, seeing Jason so public and uncaring about being seen in a crowd was shockingly new and very much unexplored territory. This bluntness in his violence, menace, and pursuit is chilling because it demonstrates his relentless nature, his lack of fear, and his total disregard for the bustling society around him. If he can kill without fear of consequence in a city full of people, what hope does any one person have? Let's talk about his seeming omnipresence in this film. His victims try everything to escape, moving through the labyrinth of the city, boarding a subway, but no matter what, he is always there. His ability to appear anywhere at any time, even in a metropolis as expansive as New York City, only solidifies the fear of the inevitable that is Jason Voorhees. It's a sense of dread that no matter how far or fast you run, Jason is always one step behind. This quote-unquote ability that Jason has, which many have dubbed as his teleportation ability, furthers that theme of inescapable doom. This eerie ability to keep up with his fleeing victims despite their best efforts to escape or hide heightens the sense of Jason's otherworldliness. There is no logic or physical law that can deter him or slow him down. He is a supernatural force of nature, not bound by human limitations. With that said, I don't think he's actually teleporting within the context of the story. I think this phenomenon is due to a combination of three things: the editing, the pacing of the film, and the pursuit of very on-the-nose thrills and chills because of the seeming teleportation technique. But I don't think Jason is actually teleporting here, but I could be wrong. But I really think it's just for the sake of the film. He's not actually teleporting. Jason Voorhees in Jason Takes Manhattan embodies the concentrated essence of fear. There is no way to stop him, no way to fight back. All you can do is run, hide, and hope that you're not next on his list. His move to an urban environment, his gruesome appearance, the directness and public nature of his violence, his omnipresence, his supernatural abilities, and his unkillability all come together to create a visceral version of a horror character with unprecedented intensity, an entity of pure, relentless terror that outshines any other incarnation of Jason Voorhees as far as his legitimate fear factor goes. It's not just about Kane Hodder's impeccable performance, it's about the totality of the character and his manifestation within these two very unique settings, the boat and NYC. Jason Takes Manhattan Jason is absolutely nightmare fuel.